Marriage is a serious commitment where two people come together and vow eternal love and mutual fidelity. However, in some situations, this does not always happen in a loving way. At certain moments, everything can end unexpectedly at the altar, often without imagining the consequences. In this story, we will discuss a case where this happened. Peter and Jasmine were a couple who had been dating for 4 years, engaged and committed to each other. They seemed to love each other deeply, and both families seemed to approve of the relationship. Everything was going well. However, what Jasmine did not know was that her fiancé, Peter, had a secret affair with another woman named Annabelle. They had been having an affair for 2 years, but Peter never left Jasmine. Jasmine loved Peter with all her heart and thought she had found the true love of her life. Peter was willing to end his relationship with Annabelle and move forward with Jasmine, as he didn't want to be seen as shameless and unfaithful, and saw Annabelle as just a passing flame. But weeks before the wedding, Annabelle had news for Peter. She was pregnant, and the child was his. At that moment, Peter felt a range of mixed emotions, but he couldn't let his child grow up without a father, so he decided to be with Annabelle, which ultimately brought them closer together. The unfaithful couple made vows of love and promised to be together forever, with their child uniting them. The wedding day arrived, and everyone was waiting for the union of Peter and Jasmine. Jasmine was excited and happy. Her friends and family looked on joyfully, unaware of what was about to happen. An hour passed, and Jasmine grew anxious about the groom's delay. Finally, the phone rang, and Jasmine answered. It was Peter on the other end of the line, saying, "Jasmine, I'm so sorry, but we can't get married. I love another woman, and we're running away together. I'm so sorry. I wish you happiness. She's pregnant, and we're having a baby. My child won't grow up without a father." Jasmine was shocked and devastated. Over the phone, she said, "How can you be such a scoundrel, Peter? You are despicable. You deceived me all this time." Peter, nervous, replied, "I'm so sorry, Jasmine. I didn't want it to be like this. I was in a hidden relationship with Annabelle, but I never left you. I had confused feelings, but now I found out I love Annabelle, and I'll live with her and my child. Forgive me. I wish you happiness and hope you find another man who truly loves you. It wouldn't be fair to keep deceiving you and myself. I'm sorry, Jasmine." In tears, Jasmine said, "I did everything for you, and this is how you repay me. Okay, I'll just tell you one thing. In this life, everything is paid back, and one day life will charge you for what you did to me. This isn't a curse, it's fate." Jasmine hung up on Peter. With a sad and disappointed expression, she told the guests, "To everyone here, it is with great sadness that I announce there will be no wedding. The groom broke up with me over the phone and ran off with his pregnant lover. Peter is a disgrace and a shameless man. He deceived me and made me look like a fool. I'm so sorry, everyone. You're free to go. If you want to take your gifts back, that's fine." At that moment, everyone looked at Jasmine with pity as she was heartbroken and devastated. Peter's family apologized for what happened, saying they didn't raise him like that and never intended for Jasmine to suffer. Jasmine saw that her fiancé's family was not at fault and said goodbye to them. Still wearing her wedding dress, she left the venue supported by her own family. Jasmine suffered a great deal, and her parents and siblings supported her through it all. Her friends also stood by her side. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, at an airport, Peter and Annabelle boarded a plane and moved to another state to escape the disapproving glances they would face from people. Annabelle and Peter lived their lives and were now a family. Jasmine cried and was utterly devastated by the wedding that never happened. She became increasingly depressed and sad. 3 years later, after several psychiatric treatments and with the help of her family and friends, Jasmine bounced back. She started running, going to the gym, studying, and working at a company. One day at her new job, she met a man named Nick, a young, elegant, handsome, and refined man from a wealthy family who owned the company. Despite his wealth and high social position, he was very humble and honorable. Jasmine was Nick's secretary, and he treated her very well. He never used his power to humiliate or abuse his employees and subordinates, always treating everyone with equality and justice. Jasmine didn't hide her middle-class background, as she was proud of her roots. Over time, Nick developed feelings for Jasmine, and he seemed to like her very much. So one day, with all his courage, Nick asked, "Hello, Jasmine. Would you like to go out with me? Maybe hang out one of these days?" Jasmine was moved and honored by his request. Out of respect for her boss, she accepted, although she wasn't looking for a relationship with anyone due to the lingering effects of being abandoned at the altar and her lost trust in men. She preferred living a single life. Nick noticed her indifference and tried not to pressure her, respecting her feelings. However, her indifference only fueled his determination. He wouldn't give up on her, and their friendship grew. Nick became more in love and determined to win Jasmine's heart, so he organized a dinner at his house and invited her. Nick then confessed his feelings, saying, "Jasmine, I've been in love with you since the first time I saw you. I can't get you out of my head. Will you be my girlfriend?" Jasmine was touched and deeply moved by Nick's request, but she hesitated, trembling in surprise, saying, "I'm very honored, Nick, but you come from a high position, and I'm from a simple, humble family. I have no titles and wasn't born with a silver spoon like you. Are you sure about this?" With a smile on his face, Nick replied, "Jasmine, my parents were middle class like you, and they fought hard to get where they are. They taught me many principles. Thanks to them, I am the incredible person I am today, and I owe them for the good upbringing they provided. I love you and I want to make you happy." Jasmine, who had been nurturing feelings for Nick for some time, decided to give herself a chance and accepted Nick's proposal. Nick and his family seemed to like Jasmine, and she got along very well with Nick's siblings and parents. In parallel, Peter was living his fairy tale with Annabelle and their child in another state, missing his family and at the same time fearing their reaction if he returned to his home state. 2 years passed, and one day at Nick's house, in front of his parents and siblings, Nick knelt before Jasmine and showed her a wedding ring, saying, "Jasmine, will you marry me? Be my wife and the lady of my life." Upon seeing the wedding ring, Jasmine felt a mix of sadness and joy in her mind. Seeing Jasmine's reaction, Nick asked, "What's wrong, my love? Did I make a mistake? Tell me what's wrong and I'll fix it right away." Jasmine, moved, said, "No, Nick, you didn't do anything wrong, but seeing this ring brought back memories." Nick's mother asked, "What happened, my dear? Explain it to us. Whatever it is, we'll help." Nick added, "Tell us, my love. We're here to listen. Whatever it is, we'll understand." So Jasmine told her entire story about her wedding, where she was abandoned at the altar, her unfaithful fiancé who ran away with his pregnant mistress, and all her suffering. Nick and his family were moved by Jasmine's story and felt very sorry for her. Nick then opened up to Jasmine and said, "My love, I know how you feel. I've been through that too, and I know what it's like." Surprised, Jasmine said, "What do you mean, Nick? Someone in your position and with your status, who has everything, couldn't possibly go through that. My God, the world is so small." Nick emotionally replied, "I was about to get married 3 years before I met you. My future wife left me at the altar and ran away with an ex-boyfriend. Everything you suffered, I also suffered. I had depression, cried a lot, and even lost the meaning of my own life. But thanks to my family, I recovered, and now I'm here. I know how you feel because I felt it too." Jasmine held Nick's hand, and in front of his family, confident that she had found true love, she accepted his proposal. After 6 months of preparation for the big occasion, Nick was at the altar waiting for his beloved. Jasmine arrived in a beautiful dress, and in front of all the guests, they got married, and their families were emotional. 3 months later, Jasmine was pregnant, which left Nick overjoyed. The happiness of motherhood and fatherhood made the couple very happy. Meanwhile, Peter and Annabelle were living their fairy tale, but they were about to be surprised. One day, Annabelle and Peter were at their home when someone knocked on the door. It was a social worker informing them that Annabelle was involved in a legal case due to her debts and frauds in the past. Annabelle panicked and said, "I can't believe this is happening now. How could I have been so careless?" Peter, shocked, replied, "What do you mean? What debts and frauds?" The social worker explained that Annabelle had accumulated significant debts and had been involved in fraudulent activities before meeting Peter. They would need to resolve these legal issues immediately, or they could lose their home and custody of their child. Peter, feeling betrayed and disheartened, said, "Why didn't you tell me about this? We could have dealt with it together. Now we have to face this nightmare." Annabelle, in tears, said, "I was afraid you'd leave me if you knew the truth. I didn't want to lose you and our family." Peter and Annabelle began dealing with their legal issues, which caused significant strain on their relationship. The once fairy tale-like life they had built was now overshadowed by stress and legal battles. Peter felt the weight of his choices and wondered if he had made the right decision by leaving Jasmine and starting a new life with Annabelle. Meanwhile, Jasmine and Nick were enjoying their married life, preparing for the arrival of their baby. Nick's family embraced Jasmine as their own, and she felt a sense of belonging and love that she had never experienced before. Jasmine often reflected on her journey and the heartache she had endured, feeling grateful for the second chance at love and happiness that she had found with Nick. As the months passed, Jasmine gave birth to a healthy baby boy, and their joy knew no bounds. They named him Daniel, and he brought even more happiness into their lives. Nick was a doting father, and Jasmine felt fulfilled as a mother. Their love for each other grew stronger with each passing day. On the other hand, Peter and Annabelle struggled to keep their family together. The legal battles drained them emotionally and financially, and their relationship began to crumble under the pressure. Peter regretted his decisions and longed for the stability and happiness he had lost. He often thought about Jasmine and wondered if she had found happiness after the heartbreak he had caused her. One day, while dealing with yet another legal issue, Peter received a letter from Jasmine. She had heard about his situation and, despite everything, reached out to offer her support. Jasmine wrote, "Peter, I heard about the troubles you're facing. Despite our past, I want you to know that I don't hold any grudges. I hope you find the strength to overcome your challenges and that you and your family can find peace." Peter was deeply moved by Jasmine's letter. Her kindness and forgiveness touched him, and he realized how much he had lost by choosing a path of deceit and betrayal. He wrote back to Jasmine, thanking her for her support and expressing his regret for the pain he had caused her. Peter's letter read, "Jasmine, your words mean more to me than I can express. I'm sorry for the hurt I caused you. I hope you have found happiness and peace. Thank you for your compassion." Jasmine received Peter's letter and felt a sense of closure. She had moved on from the past and was now focused on her family and future with Nick. Jasmine and Nick continued to build a beautiful life together, filled with love, trust, and happiness. They faced challenges together and grew stronger as a couple. Their love story was a testament to the power of forgiveness, resilience, and the importance of true love. As the years went by, Jasmine and Nick's family grew, and they welcomed another child, a baby girl named Emily. Their home was filled with laughter, joy, and love. They often reflected on their journey and the trials they had overcome, grateful for the love and support they had found in each other. Peter and Annabelle, on the other hand, eventually managed to resolve their legal issues, but their relationship never fully recovered. The trust and love they once shared had been eroded by the challenges they faced, and they eventually decided to part ways. Peter returned to his home state, hoping to rebuild his life and mend his relationships with his family. He often thought about Jasmine and the life they could have had, but he knew that it was too late for regrets. Jasmine and Nick's love story continued to thrive, serving as a beacon of hope and inspiration to others. They had found their happy ending through patience, resilience, and the belief in true love. Jasmine's journey from heartbreak to happiness was a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope for a brighter future.